Come on, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started with our faculty meeting today, so I won't keep you all too long. Today, we have the Area Gifted and Talented Coordinator to speak with us about how to identify students who are gifted and talented. Ms. Woods, you have the floor now. Thank you so much for doing this professional development for us so that we can better ourselves with our gifted and talented population. You're welcome. Thank you. Today, we will be discussing the characteristics of gifted and talented students and how we can better understand and equip teachers with the tools needed to correctly identify them. I have passed out the handout to the PowerPoint. Feel free to take notes as we go along. You can stop me and ask questions at any time. I want everyone to be able to get something from this professional development opportunity. First, we're going to start by giving the characteristics of students who are gifted and talented. Do you know of any students who are gifted and talented? What are the characteristics that you saw in those students? Thank you so much for your input. Students who are gifted and talented can have positive and negative characteristics. Your students who are identified as gifted and talented may possess both characteristics. Some of these characteristics include early and rapid learning, rapid language development, nonconformity, underachievement, especially in uninteresting areas, perfectionism, excessive criticism, a large knowledge base, enjoyment of learning, depression, poor self-esteem, anxiety, thinking abstractly, high-level thinking skills, overexcitability, among other things. So if we look at those, we can see there is a large gamut of students and characteristics of students who can benefit from the Gifted and Talented program. How many teachers have students who have been nominated for the Gifted program? How many of those students were non-disabled and English speaking? How many of those students were well-dressed and cooperative during class? Now, tell me, how many of those students were underachievers, not well kept, and identified with exceptionalities or non-English speaking? That's where we lack, and that is our problem. That is the reason I'm here today, because we have so many students who are not being identified as gifted and talented because of their behavior in class or their physical appearance in class. I'm here today to help our students the best we can. We want to do the best we can and not discriminate against the student because they are not the teacher's pet or the overachieving student. We want to give all students a chance at success. Why is this even allowed to happen? How can it change? Why do we allow teacher pleasers to be the only students that are referred or nominated for the Gifted and Talented program? That is an issue we have had to address at several schools, not just this one. We've had to address this issue all across the state, all across the nation, because gifted and talented does not just encompass those students who make all A's. It also encompasses those students who like drawing and do a very well job of it. It encompasses those creative children, not just the children who sit in class and are well behaved. We want to address this, and we want to make sure and let everybody know that we understand your complaint. When we do professional developments, we try to help teachers to get acquainted with the characteristics of gifted students and do training to accurately rate and identify those students. Teachers should also get to know their students before just nominating them. Getting to know your students does not mean just letting them sit in class and you grade their assignments. It does not mean just sitting next to them and listening to them as they do their assignments. Getting to know your students involves getting to know them, getting to know their families, getting to be involved in their life, in their community activities. That way you can see the other things that that child is involved in, because they might not be just gifted in academics. It might be sports. It might be art. It might be music. We have to make sure that we are looking at all of these things to make sure we are nominating all of the students who could benefit from the program. To accurately rate and identify those gifted children, one, like I said, teachers should get to know their students, because some students come to school and they have horrible behaviors. They are not dressed the way that we think they should be dressed. But then we understand, once we get to know them, we see their environment, we see where they're coming from. We have teacher forms that you can use to nominate your students who are above to below average in creativity, to evaluate how they are intertwined with those students who you feel are gifted. What else can we do to help those students who might be overlooked? We also have parent and peer nomination forms. A parent knows things about their child that the teacher will not know. Nomination forms can be sent to the parents to see what they remember about their child and their advancements during the early years. Peers also pay attention to details that teachers might not, so including a peer form for each student to complete on each of their classmates can help the teacher make informed decisions about nominations. Are there any more questions that you would like answered? I do see that our time is winding down, and I want to make sure that all questions have been answered. If you have any other questions, you can reach me at skwoods@jeffcoed.com, or you can dial me at 205-379-5150. I will be happy to answer your questions through email or through phone call. Do not hesitate to call. We want to make sure that our gifted program is a growing gifted program, not just for those students who are overachieving, but for our underachievers and our students who would benefit from that program. Thank you so much. This will end our meeting.